Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a great week and that you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out.
Hello.
Oh, she was bright and early with her hello. Very cheerful. I like it. Very inviting. It's giving spring.
It took some strength because someone was late again, but I'm not going to let it get me down. Because we celebrated 6 months of Structured Chaos. Can't believe it.
Yay for us. It is honestly so crazy. And when people speak about when they start something and then they're like X amount of time in and they're like, oh my gosh, I look back and I'm like, how much we've grown. And it's so funny because it wasn't as if I ever didn't think we were going to grow by any means. But in my mind was like, how different can it get? Like, it's just so crazy because I look back and I was just as proud day one as I am today. But it is so different. Like, I feel like we have grown so much in like just the way we like communicate and everything. It's just, I'm so excited for the next 6 months and 6 years.
Yeah, I think what people also that like don't know us, or even people that do know us maybe like don't realize, is that like before we started, like obviously we were friends and we knew each other, but we were strangers. We met on Craigslist. But it's not like we were like super close and talked every day like before we started this business. And so as we were starting the business, we were also like getting to know each other better. And so like learning each other's communication and how each other works and each other's lives, basically like what our routines are and kind of just a lot of things. And that is, it's almost like learning a relationship because you're learning. It is a form of relationship. Obviously, It's a business relationship. It's a friendship. But like even just in a regular friendship, you don't need that much communication all the time. And so now we've gotten to the place where we're obviously a lot closer. And so that part of it isn't as much like, okay, we need to like, not that it was like work, but you obviously understand what I'm saying.
No, go into it a little bit more.
Okay, so basically I never knew what the fuck you're talking about, and now I know about 5%. So we've done a little bit of growth. I only have to ask you to clarify about 95% of the time. So
and that is progress.
It is. And that's what we're going to focus on. So, yeah.
And I now know how to speak to Kelly in her language as well. Like, for example, we were talking about something last night and I just like answered it. And I was like, I know that's not you were asking.
And you know what? It was, I didn't even have to say, and it was so perfect that you said that because I was thinking, but also I bit my tongue and I didn't even say, I didn't even have to say, that's not what I said. And you knew. You knew that I knew, and it was like we were speaking the same language. In that moment, I was like, I'm not going to tell her that's not what I was saying because it doesn't matter. But then you knew that I needed the confirmation that you knew that that's not what I meant, and I was like, ooh, here we go. We're getting in our groove. It's going well. So
I think I was like telling a client. Not I think I was telling. I was present for it. I was telling a client the other day pretty much exactly what you just said, in the sense of like, I was like, Kelly and I have been friends. We've been friends for a very long time. And I was like, but when we would used to maybe talk once a week and then we would get together once a month, we're now still only getting together once a month. So that has not changed. But we're like now talking every single day. And it's like just a different context. Like, yes, again, to your point, like we were friends, but like when you're getting into business with someone, it like that friendship morphs into something else. And I think that you and I discussed it when we were at the Padres game, like of just how now we have 6 months of like an audience and people getting to know us and like references and
like running jokes.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a really cool thing. And again, I'm just like so proud of us and so happy. And I hope all of you guys are happy. And I can't wait to see what unfolds.
Me too. So now we're going to exchange our 6-month gifts. Just kidding. I wanted Kyra to panic, but she didn't. She just laughed.
Because I know Kelly.
And I would have told her what the gift was if I had gotten her something.
My gift to you would be holy water.
Perfect. I need a restock. Just gave my last one away.
And that is a fact, everyone. That is not a joke.
That is a true story. Just gave my last one away last night to a good cause, but still might need some more, so keep it coming, folks. So with that said, how was your week?
My week was good. It was much less busy than the prior week. So I definitely still had a bit of downtime this week and didn't feel like my head was just on a swivel at all times, which was really nice. I'd like to share something with someone or with everyone. And I don't
Okay, pick the one person. Everyone else, plug your ears.
I think you know who you are, that I'm talking to you. So I know a couple weeks ago I had said that like I felt like an adult by making my appointments at DMV. I then could not go to set appointment at DMV because I had to do something with work. So, you know, being me, I just procrastinated until the end for my registration. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Like I have a gap in my day tomorrow. Like I'll go because I need to get my registration. And then
I have a question.
mhm.
You had to go to the DMV for your registration because of the Real ID thing? Because usually you can just do your registration online.
Right. And I didn't do that either because I just, again, procrastinated. And then I was like, well, I'll just go to DMV because I'm going to do the Real ID. And so then it was just like a whole thing, but then I had to cancel. And so then Samia was like, well, you don't need to get your Real ID today. And I was like, that's true. And she was like, you know that they have like DMV kiosks. And I was like, I do kind of, because she's like, I told you about them. And I do remember her telling me about them, but this was like a year ago. So I just like put in, DMV kiosk and then like looked and like which one was the closest to my job. And it's like literally in the grocery store. You just walk in. Like it's like if you're going to like Coinstar or something, or like going to buy a lottery ticket. And it's like a DMV thing. And you literally just scan your paper, pay your registration, and it prints your tag and your new registration card.
I'm sorry.
Mind blown.
So I'm obviously there's like limited services you can do there.
Yes,
but
so
that's a main one.
Yeah. There's limited services. I think it might only be for registration.
Amazing though.
Right. And
oh my god, hot tip.
Okay, it was so easy. Like I was in and out in 6 minutes, and it only took me that long because I went with my coworker. Actually ended up being having a break too, so it was like perfect because we just went and then we went to lunch.
Wow,
it was great. And so we couldn't find like there was like a number on there that like we could not figure it out. That was the only reason it took me so long. Other than that, I would have been out in 2 minutes.
Well, that is organization productivity adulting hack if I ever heard one. Wow.
So guys, if you need it last minute, or if you didn't, you do need your paper. That is a very important thing because you need to scan. Oh, well, actually they did say that you could do it manually, but you have like the barcode on top and scan it. But yeah, if you're like in a pinch, can't make it to DMV, look up your local DMV kiosk. And that's what it's called, like DMV kiosk.
And it was in a grocery store, the one you went to.
All of them I think are.
Oh, Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very convenient.
Very convenient. And I was like, and it wasn't even like, because in my mind, I was like, oh, well, maybe they just like give you a paper that you like put on your dashboard or something until
Right.
like
Yeah,
the
like the
real one
temporary.
comes. Yeah. Nope.
The actual one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So,
And
if
like the things that stick.
yeah.
The stickers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like sticker, card. Got it. Done.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And then we went to this restaurant, and I am mad at myself for not remembering the name. It's like Stand. I think it was the Stand, but it was like a burger place. And I loved it because one thing about me, I love pickles. And you place your order, and then they give you a little thing of pickles to eat in the meantime while you're
The
waiting for your
Stand.
food. It is called the Stand?
Mm-hmm. They have
Okay.
one by my house too.
That's the one I went to.
Oh, by my house?
Uh-huh.
Like up there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have well, I guess then I don't know if they have multiple here, but it is like a chain kind of. Like
Okay.
there's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that worked out really well. D&D,
Nice.
nice lunch, get a little pickle.
Okay.
And like
Love that.
the owner had come over. I'm pretty sure he was the owner or manager or whatever. But he was like, oh, like, how was it? And I was like, I'll be back because you guys give pickles.
Right.
Easy sell.
Sold.
Easy sell.
Love that. Wow, cute.
Mm-hmm. And so, okay, I'm like going through my bar remodel.
Mm-hmm.
So everything has been purchased, and then I went to go start it the other day, and I was like, oh, I can't cut these tiles. And they're just like the vinyl tiles. They're not like real tile.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, ugh, I guess I'm going to have to buy a tile cutter. So then I buy a tile cutter, and I was just like, in my mind, I thought it was going to come assembled, which I'm not sure why, because that would be dangerous. But I was like not in the mood to like put it together. And so then I was like FaceTiming my friend because I couldn't understand. And I was like, I can't let these instructions be smarter than me. Again, we're in this position. Like I am capable of building things.
Right.
And
we went through the coffee table saga. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I was just like, oh God. And when like you're just like not in the mood to build something, so it's just not going to happen.
Every day of my life.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm ever like, ooh, I need to build.
You know what I would love to do today?
Where is my hard hat?
So then Joy and I went to the beach yesterday. And so she came over and she's like looking at everything. And I was like, don't worry. I was like, I have a project for us later. And she goes, oh, I'm sure you do. Because my friend was supposed to come over this weekend and they couldn't come. They ended up like having like a really busy schedule. So the completion of the bar will be done in a couple days. But Joy's like, don't worry, your boyfriend's in town. I'll build it.
Perfect.
So she built the tile cutter, and then we did it, and the backsplash looks so good.
Yay. So you cut it and put it up?
Cut it and put it up because it was like I just needed to cut because the pattern is like rounded on one side and then like sharper round out cutouts on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed it to be flat to like build up. So I knew once I got the bottom and the top done, like everything else would be easy.
Yeah.
And then like we had to like cut the side of it because they were like one was a little too wide, but it was like very, very, very easy. I mean,
just the bottom and the top and the side.
Yeah. And so
Perfect.
other than that, and then like every individual piece we did, like they did like leave one part of the tile out that you had to then place like where you would want it, you know?
Yeah. So just
like,
a little of this, little of that. Just
other than like customizing every single piece that we did, like it was easy.
Just a quick DIY.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a very quick DIY because even Joy was like, it's done. I'm like, that's it. That's it. And it's going to look so good. So like just the shelves have to go in. And then I got all my like new glassware. And I got like a new light fixture that's coming. And I'm going to like underlight the shelves on the bar. So it's going to like look like I'm so excited. And if you have been around me, you have known that I've been talking about doing this for like 3 years. So it's like finally happening and I am over the moon.
Nice.
Mhm.
Excited to see it.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, the thing that has been taking all of my free time, my deep dive into the pyramids. So I briefly mentioned it last week that I was going to be talking about it. Did you see anything or look at anything, or we're still going in blind?
Blind.
Great.
Haven't
Okay.
thought about it for 1 second.
Wow. It's the only thing I can think about. So that's crazy. So, I mean, I love things like this. I mean, we want to talk mermaids, we want to talk aliens. Like, I love that type of stuff. The pyramids have always been just interesting to me because of how they were designed, the meticulous structure that it is, and how every single piece is perfect. And like the technology did not exist for it to be this way. And so they have found that so the pyramids in Giza, they did this I forget what it's called, but it's like a technology that goes down and can I think like through sound waves and like heat detection, it creates a AI image of what it looks like. So they found these under the pyramid, they found these like structures that existed. And they were like going like over 2 miles deep into the ground. So like you're not drilling. Like there's no drills that exist. Like how and they're massive. They are these massive pillars with these coils around them. And so, and clearly, obviously, have been there forever, and no one had ever known that they were there. So this was like the first discovery, was that they had these pillars with these coils wrapped around them. What did it mean? Why? All of the things. As of last week, they were like, let's maybe check under some others and see what's happening. So Stonehenge has them. Stonehenge has the exact same thing. And all of the ancient monuments all have these things. And they go further than 2 miles down. They all connect through these series of tunnels. And they have found through satellite and this other thing that they had originally used that there is just this ball of energy, essentially, that is just sitting there. And they were like, it's not just like 20 batteries worth of energy. It's like over 100 million atomic bombs worth of energy. And so then, yeah.
What?
So then they are talking about how like Giza has always been the center of, they call it, the Giza pyramids, like they call them like, a power plant. Scientists have always, and archaeologists, they've always referred to it as a power plant because of the material that it is made out of and the position at which it lies on the earth, which they somehow knew back when they were building it, that so the tip of the pyramid is the exact measurement of the measurement of how light travels, how fast light travels. And they also the 3 pyramids are set to mimic Orion's belt. They're set in the same star formation as Orion's belt. And they are, it's a replica of the exact measurements of the hemisphere of our world. So they would have had to have known the exact measurements somehow of the entire earth, and that's the measurement at which they replicate. So yes, so then they have also talked about how based on the material that it is built out of and everything that they have discovered, that it essentially like, oh, and then there's water. There's water in the bottom. And they said that that's how the water channels would come through. And if the water channels mixed with the exact position that the pyramids are in addition to like the granite and quartz and everything, it creates energy. And so they are saying that it used to, like, teleportation could be a thing because it's at the exact speed at which light travels, and like it's an amount of energy that we can't comprehend, and that would like literally destroy anyone or anything that would be in it. And there's just all of these portals that are there, and I just love this stuff. Like, because they're saying, oh, and then they were saying how now I grew up Catholic. I'm not super aware of certain things, so excuse me, anyone who is going to tell me that this is not the right name. I am sorry. I apologize. It's the covenant, the Ark Covenant, or something like that existed in this pyramid. And it is made out of a material that is also super energetic when mixed with the right elements. And it is said that Ethiopia has it. And that's where the king was buried, and they are saying that. So I guess in the Bible, in Exodus, it talks about this said thing. And like, and they said that they talk about it in the Bible that like you will literally like you'll die if you touch it. And they talked about how like you had to have rubber suits on and all of these like steel things to be able to touch it because it is filled with that much radiation and that much energy. And so that was in Giza. Now it's in Ethiopia, supposedly. And so they were like, it's going to change the course of history forever because it's going to teach us so much. Like, how did this happen? Why did it happen? They were a much more advanced society than we are. And like, and how are they? And like, I just fucking love this stuff because to me, it's real magic. So we already know I'm here.
Yes. So we will be sending Kyra as a representative.
Yes.
Of our history podcast.
I will be heading to Egypt.
Yes. So she will be reporting back.
So I was going to let everyone know we are not going to have a matching background next week because I will be in Giza. So
she will be vlogging. So stay tuned. Look out for that.
And who knows what my background will be because maybe I'll teleport somewhere. So
right. I was going to say, well, it'll probably be neutral because, you know, you'll be with the parent, but we don't know.
We don't know.
We can't predict where you'll end up.
No.
So stay tuned for that journey because that's going to be a fun one. Hopefully you'll be able to have your mic with you, but.
Oh, we got to figure it out. You know what though? With the way they're talking about things, it doesn't sound like I could have any type of electronic near me.
We don't know if we'll be able to connect.
No.
But we'll do our best.
So guys, like when I tell you that I look at this stuff every single day, like I need to get there.
It sounds very interesting. There's a lot of different elements to it.
Like, just it's like, how did you know? And like they talk about all these like crazy things that have happened, like universally, like with like when like the stars are aligned in certain ways, like what happens there. Like it is just so crazy because it's real. Like, and like, oh, like I just love this stuff. Like, how, like,
can people go there? Like to like, but can you go? So like,
yeah, you can go in certain chambers.
Okay.
Yeah. And they talk about that too, like how, like when you're like specifically in Giza, when you are going to like this one chamber, like everyone feels this, like
you feel the energy.
Yes. Like, and this like power and this like you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, you
And I
definitely need to
know
go.
that we are so close to, like, I mean, obviously we know that aliens exist. Like, I get it. But, like, I think we are so close to, like, meeting. Like, I'm going to meet an alien.
Well, yeah, some people have.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think I've already talked about how my dream is to go to Antarctica. Me and my client, we have a dream to go to Antarctica, and we're going to, like, find some aliens.
Some people, like, have had sex with aliens.
Oh, yeah. Like, I love shows like that. Like, true crime, see ya. Don't even want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Alien encounters, I'm in.
There's a do you ever watch Unsolved Mysteries?
No, that's part of the scary part.
Oh, you don't like scary? Okay.
Mm-mm.
I thought you were saying, like, you like true
To
crime,
me,
but
all
you're moving
mysteries
on from true crime.
Oh no, I don't. I will never watch true crime. Like, I know, like, people love true crime, and I'm talking to one, but not for me. But you want to talk about, like, underwater creatures and, like, how octopus are aliens and how they, like, talk to the other fish and, like, they run the ocean, and how mermaids exist and how the pyramids and the aliens and all of the cosmic things. I'm in.
Okay.
That's where I'll deep dive.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
Oh, and really quickly, I did round out my week at the beach yesterday. It was the first official beach day of 2025 for me. And, you know, it was just lovely. And Joy
It
and
was
I
a
were
nice
just sitting
day.
there. That's why I have a little bit of a burn going on, which makes me happy. And, you know, Joy and I were just sitting there. And I said, let's turn the music off. Let's close our eyes. And let's just listen to the ocean for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did. And it was
nice.
It was just wonderful. Very tranquil.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for you.
Yeah. How was your week?
My week was not that great, but I went to get a massage with my girl in Solana Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So that was lovely and relaxing. And she was like, remember last time I went and she was like talking about all my frayed neural pathways. This time she was like,
less frayed?
She didn't mention them, so I don't think they exist anymore. I don't think I have any. She was talking about all the, I don't even know what she called it, but she was like, did you hear all that clicking in your shoulders? And I was like, yep. And she was like, yeah, I tried to work on it, but so basically I'm just lost cause.
That's a little more frayed than your brain.
Yeah.
And I
She was like,
do
I did my best, but so
help.
But
She's
I
like,
also
you have arthritis. Did you hear that clicking?
I also, like I mentioned last time, I go for relaxation, so I don't like, I mean, I'm sure if I wanted her to, like, be working out something, she would, but I wasn't doing that. I was just going for relaxation. So, I mean, I know that I'm tense, so I'm just, sorry. I know that I'm tense, but that's just my natural state. So, you know, we do what we can. So that was nice. But yeah, most of my week I was very, very busy working. It was the first week of the spring quarter for my students. So lots of working, lots of life shit happening. But I did go get my nails done. So I was like prepared to speak up if needed.
And did you?
Nope. I went in and I was like, okay, you know, we could do this. It's okay.
Look at yourself in the mirror before you go.
Yes.
And you're like, we got this.
You're a bad bitch who doesn't get her feet burnt. And so I had texted, for the listeners, I had texted Kyra, like, you know, before I went, and I was letting her know, like, okay, I'm like putting my life at risk. Too bad for you that you haven't signed the partnership agreement yet, because you're not going to get anything if I die, but whatever. So basically, she voice notes me back as I walk in, and then I'm like, you know, I see it come through, but I'm like, okay, I need to sit down. And then I realized I left my AirPods in my car. So I'm like, oh, I can't listen to this yet. And I had sent her
Rookie
along.
mistake.
I know it was. But I had sent her like a long voice note about like a whole thing. And it was just a small part about my nails. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like wait till I get back in my car to listen to this, but I could read, you know, how it like transcribes it. And so the first part of her response was about the nails. And so I read it and it was like, Godspeed for your nail appointment. Just remember we speak up. And by the time I read it, my feet were already burnt to a crisp in that water. It wasn't as bad as last time.
But
I don't know.
It wasn't enjoyable.
I think the last time I really think I like burnt off the sensors in my feet. And you know what? So what I learned, well, I already knew this, but I learned that like other people speak up, you know, because this girl came and she was next to me and they asked her, you know, how's the water? And she was like, it's good for right now, but like I'll probably want to add some more when it starts cooling down. I'm going to want to add some more warm water later. And I was like,
you brave, brave woman.
oh, wow. Oh my God. So then, like later, she unprompted, I need a little bit warmer. Like 20 minutes later, I was like,
you're like, who are you?
Teach me your ways.
Literally. Are you just like, you're like, can I get an autograph? Do we want to get lunch after this? Like,
yeah, no, it was incredible.
So guys, we have a new person joining our podcast.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I was impressed. And so it went pretty well though. I didn't get like injured besides that. My nails turned out well, my toes turned out well. So yeah, I mean, I consider it a win.
A win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
speaking of nails really quickly, my nail girl is in Japan. So I go to this other girl when she's gone. Anne fucking killed my nails this week. I've gotten a cat eye before, but she did a different magnet placement.
okay, Anne.
Okay, with like the line in there.
Period. I got a little ombre.
Cute. Yes, very cute, very fresh.
It's very
loving.
Me, just neutral.
Loving.
Yeah.
Ready for spring.
And I mean, I'll have them for over a month, so they grow out naturally. So anyways, yeah, that was my week, and I feel like I was gonna talk about something else, but it's okay, I'll talk about it next week because it's not a timely thing. I just had something on my mind to talk about, but
you want to give us a little teaser?
Oh yeah, it just has to do with like bitch ass girlfriends who like are fake snakes. Stay tuned.
Oh, we'll be talking about this.
Yeah.
Before we get into the news, well, this will go along with the news actually. I just want to say how incredible it was to see all of the peaceful protests, no hands off, all of the stuff going on this weekend. It was really, really, really cool. It made me emotional. I cried to see it. Whatever side you're on, that is completely fine. I am celebrating people coming together in a peaceful way, standing up for what they believe. And I thought that it was just like, it just gave such hope, you know?
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a dark time in this country.
I also didn't know it was happening. Otherwise, I would have gone. Like, I'm so mad that I didn't know about it.
I didn't either. Which, I mean, I didn't really know what was happening even at all in my life this week. Right. So I'm not surprised I didn't know. But yeah, we locally, if you live locally, you might have heard this or you might not have, but 5 students at UCSD got their visas revoked this week, and 1 student got deported from UCSD specifically. And as of, I haven't looked today, but as of like the other day, the government like has not said why.
Of course not.
And it's just like very scary because we have a huge international student population and it's just very uncertain times.
It's very real.
Mm-hmm. So we had a couple things in the news this week.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us with it.
So, okay, in Summer House, this week's episode, Lindsay is accusing Carl of overlapping and, you know, talking to this girl that he's currently speaking to while they were still together. And this girl, I mean, she made her own outfit for the party. So she doesn't seem, you know, like she's out here trying to break up, you know, relationships by any means. And she also just seems like she's just like a regular person. Lil came through with the receipts. She said, "Oh yeah, you
Lil
want to
came through."
She said, "Oh, you want to try to slander my name and create a story that I'm some homewrecker and that I slid into his DMs? Here's the receipt.
Okay,
Here's the receipt
Lil.
of the timestamp. And as far as I know, October comes way after August." And I said, "Okay, Lil."
However,
Mm-hmm.
I saw, because I was looking into this,
Mm-hmm.
that some deep divers were doing a little comparison
Mm-hmm.
because the screenshot showed the date, obviously, but not the year.
Okay.
It showed like October 21st or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all these deep dive people were like, if you look right now at your DMs, like if you looked back at October, it would show the year because we're no longer in that year. And so if she were looking right now at a DM from October, it would show the year. So they were saying it was fake. Like it was like edited. Or she like took the screenshot in October. I don't know. Because I'm like, well, maybe she had a screenshot of it that she took in October. She could have sent it to one of her friends or something in October. Like, oh, look, I'm DMing with Carl.
But why would she do that? Because she wouldn't know that Lindsay down the line was going to have an issue or something to say about it.
Right. But if she was just like, oh, look, I'm DMing with Carl from Summer House. Like, you know, if like say that I slid into West's DMs and I'm like, oh, look, West, like me and you DM, like me and you text screenshots all the time.
Right.
Of whatever. And so then say, so what if today I DM'd West and he responded, I would screenshot that and send it to you. And then in 6 months from now, if me and him are dating and this happened, I would be like, oh, I have a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like something that could happen. She could have just had a screenshot of it. I don't know. But I mean, it's like, it just, whatever.
Who
it's
cares?
like, Lindsay, you're happy with your life. So just move on.
And like, no one is like, during the breakup, no one painted you as the villain. And like, and if they did, like, it was shortly lived.
I think people were like, I think she's mad because some people are like, were saying like she moved on too quick or whatever. And like, but it's like, but who cares?
Who cares?
Like, someone has to move on first. And he broke up with you. So
we all knew it was going to be you. So.
Right. And honestly, if anyone overlapped, I mean, whatever.
You have a baby.
So, yeah. And then the other one was, so right after we recorded last week, right when we signed off, and this I feel like always happens, but we saw that Aaron from Real Housewives of New York had her baby. He's so freaking cute. Their family just looks so cute. So she had her baby, and then there was like some controversy this week because she like posted a TikTok. She was like shaking a martini, holding the baby, and people are like, "Oh my god, you're not supporting its neck. You're not doing this. You're not doing that." And she's like,
she's a
fine.
mom of 4 now.
She has 4 kids. It's a video. You can't like. Obviously, it's her dangles. The baby looks like whatever. The baby's fine. I'm sure like people have whatever. The baby's
sure
fine.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
And let that bitch have a martini.
Aaron.
She just grew a whole goddamn human in her.
Yeah.
Enjoy a martini.
Right. And the baby is so freaking precious.
So cute.
Anyways.
Also really quickly, just following up on last week with the Louis Teresa tax invasion scandal that's happening. He then proceeded to launch his content creator network on TikTok. So if you're a content creator and you really want those like good deals, like head over to Louis because he's gonna get you signed.
Okay.
Yep, he's gonna get you signed, and it doesn't look fishy or sketchy at all. I mean, he has such an extensive background in this line of work, so who other than this man, this expert, to help you along? So that should be helpful. And then I saw yesterday that Teresa has like $1 million something that she didn't pay. And then his old company is suing him. And like, it is just like, it seems like it's getting lawsuit after lawsuit right now. And he took out a $1.4 million loan to pay off something so that they could get the house that they live in now. And it's just like
too much.
You're going to end yourself right back in the clinker again.
Mm-hmm.
Jen Shaw's going to come out and Teresa's going to go back in.
Yeah. Yikes.
I just don't get it. I don't get how you are not just so careful after going through what you've already been through.
I know. I don't either.
Mm.
All right. Beverly Hills, part 1. Let's talk about the looks real quick. Whose was your favorite?
On camera, my favorite was Erica. I would like to go on record and say, I don't really like any of them.
I don't
not
really
their
like
best work.
Any of them either. I think my favorite was Dorit.
She's like one of my last.
Or Garcelle. But
minus the gloves.
Yeah, minus the gloves.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was giving, it reminded me of the Kim Kardashian.
Of course.
And so
it was giving Angel Brinks, to be honest.
I don't know what that is. Angel Brinks?
Wow. And she wants to pretend she watches Basketball Wives.
Well, which city? I don't watch all of them.
Angel Brinks, she's like a designer. That's what she does. She's like a huge house, Basketball Wives LA. She's married to, now she's like dating rock star.
Is she
and
on
the
show
them.
or she's
Yes.
Is she on?
And like Cardi B, like all like the stars use her for their tours.
Angel Brinks. I'm looking her up. Oh yeah, it does look like that. Well, I haven't been able to watch Basketball Wives the past
6 seasons?
Oh, she was on 4 or 5. Well, I haven't known. I did watch the 4 and 5. I don't know. I don't recognize her. No, just the past like 1 season. Remember I was showing you that it like wasn't letting me?
Yeah.
But I did watch the earlier ones.
She's on all of them.
It's weird. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It just didn't look great on her. But anyways, so there was lots of, I thought it was a good episode,
and
actually.
Kyle and Dorit are my last on my list for
Kyle
dress.
always looks like she's in 2005.
What? Is she heading to a dance recital after?
She always looks so outdated.
I didn't get it at all. I
really didn't like any of their looks, to be honest. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone's fighting with everyone. There was a lot. I thought there was a lot of good stuff in this episode because as I'm watching it, I was like, oh, like this episode must almost be over. And I was only like halfway through. And there was like
a lot of conversations.
Yeah, a lot of good conversations. So maybe we should go like Garcelle had the most arguments with people in this first one. So maybe we should talk about her. So she had an argument with with Kyle, with Erica, with Bose, and with Dorit. So with Kyle, she is arguing about
they're just gonna keep crossing paths.
Yeah. I mean,
Kyle is not seeing it.
No. And she's not going to.
No. And Garcelle's making very valid points.
Yes. And so I think basically the issue that Garcelle has is that like Kyle, well, I mean, one of the issues she has is that like Kyle had Morgan on the show and not only talked about her, but showed her she was on the show. And now they can't talk about her. And Kyle is like, I'm not saying her name on purpose. She didn't sign up for, like, making it a thing. All, you know, but then, yeah, just makes it awkward. And so Garcelle's like, so we're not allowed to ask about it, but you have, so how are we going to be close when you don't talk about this? And it's a whole thing. And then Kyle is like, well, your son didn't want to be on the show and we were fine with that. And it's like, but that's like, he wasn't on the show and then not on the show and then whatever. And so I don't know. I
he's
understand.
Also younger.
Right. And he's her kid. A kid is different. Like kids are off limits. They always say that.
A whole tattoo with this person and they were like in every episode. Like,
yeah.
Like it doesn't.
If Garcelle had a man, they would be all over it. Like there's just no comparing a kid, her son, to this. And so, so then the fact that Erica was like, oh, well, I guess I want you to be more interesting. I thought that was so rude. And I wish the stuff that Garcelle was saying at the end to Sutton in the dressing room, like, sorry that I'm not involved in criminal activity. I'm like, I wish she would have said that on the stage because it's so true. She's like, sorry that I'm not in a messy divorce. Like, my divorce happened before the show. Sorry that I'm not, like, doing illegal shit like your husband's or, like, because PK is doing weird shit. Like, and
like, I will say I did feel bad for her when they were like, you're not sleeping with anyone. And she was like, I wish. And she was like, okay, I went on a date with a guy. Like, we went on 2 dates. And I just was like, that sucks. Like, yes, I know you're signed on to do a show, to talk about your life. I get it. But I just felt like you should not have to disclose, like, you went on 2 dates with someone and what happened on those 2 dates if you guys aren't anything and aren't becoming anything. If you want to, like playfully say, like, oh, I had a good time with someone or whatever. Like, yeah. But I felt like, you don't have to say that. Don't worry. Like, you don't have to say that to us.
And it honestly just sounds like she has a normal, healthy life.
Yes.
And that's being, like, villainized. Like, how dare you?
Right.
You're so boring.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'm like, I like her. And so now she has quit. Like, not yet, but in real time she has, but we haven't seen it yet. But I'm just like, so I actually really liked the fact that she stood 10 toes, that she thought Dorit's house robbery was a setup. I thought that was amazing because I'm like, she said it on the show. And if she were to come on the reunion and be like, oh no, like what every housewife does every season, they say something. And then on the reunion, they have some type of excuse. We never see them do this. We never see them say, well, that's my
accountability.
Especially something that's controversial ever. And she was like, that's how I feel. And the fact that, like, I get where Bose was coming from, like, because she was going so hard though, because that's her friend Dorit. But it's like, but if she would have wavered and been like, oh yeah, I didn't mean it that way, blah blah blah, then it's like, then you guys would have been like, you're fake because you said it and now you're taking it back. So pick a lane. I
would like to go on record and say I've always been on Garcelle's side, and I have said it from the beginning. I will never forget the day that episode aired. I was texting Samia and Joy, and I was like so baffled that they didn't think that it was fake. Like immediately I knew it was fake. That shit was a setup. And to Garcelle's point, I don't think that Dorit knew.
Mm-hmm.
Or I at least don't think that Dorit knew maybe the sequence in which it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it was a setup. I definitely think that it was staged by her husband and that he had so much to do with it. There was so much that happened leading up to it and directly after that I was like, no. And the one thing that I will say is like, I don't know Kim Kardashian or anything, but this was like right around the time that she had been robbed in Paris. This was like maybe a year or so after. You cannot tell me that someone like Kim Kardashian, having essentially the exact same situation happen, but almost would be better because it wasn't her home and her kids weren't there. She disappeared. We did not hear from her, nothing, because she had to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
You pick up filming 4 hours later?
Right. Crazy.
Get out of here. And you didn't even have your kids with you. You picked up filming 4 hours later and left your kids with someone else.
Yeah.
Fuck
and
that.
I think the whole time on the reunion, she's talking about how PK, or like the whole time on the season, PK is not a good dad, PK is a liar, PK is this, PK is that. But then how dare you insinuate that he would do something like this against his family? How that is so crazy. How could you do that? And it's like, so you want us to believe he's this monster. You called him a monster.
Mm-hmm.
But then, God forbid, someone insinuates this and it, like, that he would do something fraudulent.
And Garcelle kept maintaining, I don't think you had anything to do with it. I don't, you know what I mean? So it was not an attack on you.
No.
It was an attack on your sketchy ass husband
who you say is sketchy. And like even the stuff Sutton was saying about like, do you know who's on the mortgage? Like, and Dorit obviously does not know. That's why she's so, even if you don't like Sutton, and like she definitely was giving like
teacher.
Yes, but it's like she even said like she's like, I'm coming at this from like my own experience, like of things that I wouldn't do again. Like I didn't tell my kids about my divorce, and like I think that was a mistake. Like because I'm
watching it play out in real time and now like right, it's like hindsight is 2020. Like we wish we had that.
Yeah, but I did think it was funny that she was like, I found out I own 2 baseball teams in my divorce. Like I don't think Dorit's gonna be finding that out.
She's gonna be like, I found out I owe 2 baseball teams.
Exactly. And then, but yeah, I don't know. It was mostly Garcelle.
I think
and then Kyle
Garcelle is jealous of Bose. I think that she is jealous of Bo's likability. I think that, and this is my take, because when Garcelle came on, she said it was a very hard thing to do, being the only Black woman in the cast, and how she lives a very different life, and her girlfriends have a very different type of relationship than these type of women, and the authenticity and all of that. And this is like peak Garcelle for me. Like I loved her in the beginning. And I still love her. I still really, really like her. Like I said last week, like I think she like now plays the part a little bit too much. She got involved in like the politics of Housewives. But I think that Bose came on and was so well liked. And I think Garcelle is jealous of how easy it was for her to transition into this likability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I could see that, but I kind of feel like Bose is going to, well, first of all, I think Bose could easily have a bad season because there's a lot of things like with her man and things easily that people don't like that they can make into a thing with her man and the way that she sticks up for Dorit. And there's just a lot of things that I feel like could easily be turned into a bad season for her. And I get what you're saying. I don't think Garcelle is necessarily like jealous of her, but I do think that she Yeah, I mean, I guess it might be some jealousy about how she just so easily came into it, but I also think it's like almost like one of the, you know, when someone like new comes to your job and it's like they act like they know more than you, but it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's like,
Well, I mean, I will say that Bose did say like that she watched the show before and she was like, I did my research and but I did very much appreciate where she was like, it is so different than watching. Being in it is so different than
mhm.
watching. You think that things are played up and she was like, and they are not. And I do love what she said to Garcelle. When she said to think that this person would influence how I feel or how I read a situation says a whole lot more about you than it does about me, because I cannot be influenced in how I feel about you by someone else's opinion. I live in real life and I experience real life things and I give everyone an opportunity. And I think that that's the businesswoman in her, because you can't go based off of someone else, because she wouldn't get as far as she did, in business being that way.
But that's not necessarily true, because the way that like at Dorit's 4th of July party when she came, she was like, obviously she like didn't really know what was going on in this situation, and she kind of like came into it like, well, why aren't you guys like just come back into the party and stuff, and it's like you don't even know what the situation is and you automatically had Dorit's side, so it's
Right,
not
but
really
that wouldn't dictate my friendship with someone.
right, but it's kind of showing that like you did just take
I'm
what
gonna blindly back my friend, but it's not gonna make me not like you.
right, but they're supposed to both be your friends.
But that's what she was saying. She was like, I'm not gonna not like you because I'm sticking up for my friend. Two things can be done simultaneously.
Right, but why did you pick Dorit to be the friend you stuck up for?
Because you're
Like,
closer.
but why?
Because you're
Like,
closer.
but why are you closer to her than any other girl in the group? Because you
But that's just
just
a I mean, that's why am I mean, what? I'm closer with someone than I am with another person.
but you just came in and you had no idea what was going on and you just
Well, she said it. She was like, I
decided.
don't know. She was like, I don't know what it was. We were at the dinner together that first night when I met her. I'm a very open person that likes to talk about things. Dorit just happened to be there, who also likes to talk about things. So it sparked our friendship.
I guess. I
And
don't
she
like
literally
that
said that.
Bose said like that she was like that she called Kyle out on all these things, and Kyle was basically like, I came to your room, I did like we had this conversation, we did this, and Bose was like, I don't remember that, and Kyle was like, the producer brought me there, it was this, blah blah. She like had all these instances, and then they showed back on camera them talking about Mo and stuff, and she was like, we talked about Mo, and Bose was like, we only talked about Dorit, and then Kyle was like, oh, like you were kind of like on medication, like you didn't really remember, and Bose is like, well, I guess you just weren't. They just weren't interesting conversations, and I'm like, that's kind of a cop out. You're saying Kyle wasn't vulnerable with you, and then when she tells you 5 instances that she was, you're like, I guess it just wasn't memorable enough for me. And it's like, so which is it? Was she not open enough for you, or you just don't really care to get to know her?
Both. Be more interesting and I'll care.
Right, which is fucked up. That's rude. It's like
That's
she
how our
wanted
friendship
to
goes.
make it
Like, if you're not
seem
interesting, see ya.
well, right, but then stop saying how she's not open with you. Just say, I don't want to be like, I don't care to be friends with her. That's fine. But stop saying she won't be open with me. She just gave you 5 instances when she was, and then you're like, well, guess you weren't interesting. It's like, okay, then that's what it is.
Fair point.
But it's like, ugh, I don't know. I thought Kyle handled that situation well, even though I don't like her, but I thought she handled that well.
So yeah, we'll see what happens this week. Kathy comes out. We get Jennifer Tilly this week. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Southern Charm. Nothing that exciting, but Vanita being a pick-me.
So I text Kelly and she watches it a day later. And I said, I want to throw at the TV right now. because I was so angry watching the reunion. So then, like, Friday afternoon, I'm at work and Kelly sends me a picture of her TV and she was like, was this the part that you wanted to throw your phone at the TV? And I was like, yes, it was. Yes, it was. So you guys have obviously been following the saga of JT and Vanita and their timeline that certainly doesn't make any sense to anyone. Andy asks, you know, they're going back and forth, and Andy asks, do you want to be with him? And she goes, yeah, I do. I do. The confusion that is taken over me. One, that we're in this situation to begin with. Two, that it's a continuing situation and you just watched everything play out. You said all this stuff to him to say, I want to be with you. And then they go have a little drink together. You know, they take a break.
And he has a girlfriend.
Cheering. How have you been? You look beautiful.
Girl. We're done with it. We're done with it.
Like, then you guys should be together then. Like, both of you suck. Go be together.
Right. And get off our TV.
Get off our TV.
I mean, they showed the, like, flashbacks to the beginning of Southern Charm, which was, like, funny to see. But
it wasn't giving, really, honestly, anything.
No. We
just hate Vanita and JT.
Yeah. So, okay, I know this episode has gone on pretty long, but for Summer House, first of all, they weren't at the house at all this week, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
But if we're going to talk about one thing, we have to talk about kickball.
Yeah, we do.
Because this week, they played kickball. They played kickball with Volo, which is the league that I play with in San Diego. Then that's like who I played pickleball with. That is who I did the speed dating with. So yeah, Volo, they're across the country. So that was fun to see. And I was like, oh my God, I would like die if there was like a reality show here and they were like, oh, we're going to film. Anyways, so I was excited to see them playing, and it was funny to me because the boys were going all out, like diving for the ball, and like that is exactly how the guys on my team were, like, you know, and some of the girls were too, but not I. But I do have a little quick story about my experience playing kickball, you know, because as I've been telling you, I am an athlete.
This is a sports podcast because we are athletes.
Right. And it's like, we can't make this up. Like this, it just keeps coming up in our everyday life because we are athletes. And it's like, it just is being intertwined with the shows we watch because it's such a big part of our life. And so, like, I'm just trying to watch a reality show, and then I'm like, oh my God, look, they're playing Volo, they're doing kickball. It's like, I did that. I have a story for this. And it's like, it's just working so well. So I'm excited to tell the story because, you know, it just... excited. So when I was playing kickball, this is adult kickball, folks. This was literally last year, maybe the year before. It was a co-ed team, obviously. I was one of the people on the team that was like there for the vibes. I wasn't there to like earn a scholarship.
To be an Olympic athlete. Yeah. Like,
right.
Take that hat off.
I was very much like
leisure
clapping. I was doing the tunnel when people were, you know, doing well. I was very much screaming in the outfield if the ball was coming near me. I was like trying to catch it, but there was a screech. I was very much like, you got it, to the people next to me.
Story, you know, so we can only imagine.
Yeah. So just very much there to cheer everyone else on. And have fun with my friends. You know, I tried my best. Like, I'm not a loser, but like, it's kickball. So On this particular day, I am on second base, which was a pretty big accomplishment for me, like to have made it to second base. And I think my team was pretty proud as well. So I'm on second base. There's someone on first base. There is someone up to kick. So I'm like, ooh, I'm ready to run. And so this person, and one of my friends is at like he's like the third base coach. Cause I'm always like, someone needs to like tell me when to run. And they're basically just like run on anything. Cause there's someone at first, you have to run. So I'm ready to roll. As soon as they kick, I'm running so fast. Like it's literally as fast as I can run. And obviously I don't know where the ball is because I know I have to run. It doesn't matter. The ball is nowhere near me, which is good because I'm not going to get out. The ball went like closer to first base. I'm almost to third base. I'm like, fuck yes, Kelly. You are doing this. Right before I get to third base, I'm like within inches. And when I tell you I'm sprinting, I was running so fucking fast. The guy on the other team, who was the third baseman, stuck his foot out right in front of me, and I tripped on his foot. And when I fell flat on my face, I went from a sprint to a dead stop on my motherfucking face in the dirt. This grown man tripped me. And the reason I know the ball went to first base is because then once I was on the ground, I looked and the ball was nowhere near us. So you weren't going to get me out. You weren't trying to like slow me down because the ball was coming near us. He looked down at me and he was like in shock, for those that aren't watching and can't see my face. And I literally was like, what did you think was going to happen when you stuck your foot out? So not only am I in shock because I just was running and now I'm on the ground, but I'm embarrassed because then of course like everyone's looking at you in the whole game and I like pop up because I'm like so embarrassed. But I'm like, oh, fuck, that fucking hurt. But you know, like your body's in shock. And so I'm like,
I'm fine.
Yes, because then everyone starts asking, are you okay? And then you're like, I'm fine. It's like so embarrassing.
Don't make it a thing.
Yeah. And so then I'm like, okay, well, I didn't even get out. And now I have to like run again because I'm like on third base now. I'm like, I would have rather gotten out than like fall. So I have to like be fine. And then like, whatever, the next person like got out. So then I didn't actually have to run again. And then it was like the end of the game. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. Well, the next day I had to get on a flight to go to my grandmother's 90th birthday for the weekend. I could not move my neck. So
it's just like the sequence of events that happen in your life.
It was.
Of course, you have to get on a plane the next day.
Oh my god! Like first thing. So I couldn't move my neck all weekend. I'm like icing it, heat, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm trying to decorate for my grandma's birthday. Like my whole family's there. I cannot move. And I'm like, oh my God. Like I thought like if you broke your neck, like you would be like paralyzed. So I'm like, it didn't even like cross my mind that like I could have broken my neck. But like during that weekend, my mom was like, you could have a fractured neck and still be like moving. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. So then when I flew back, I went straight from the hospital to the ER to get x-rays because I could not move. And what'd you say?
Straight from the airport.
Yes.
You didn't go from the hospital to the ER.
Oh, straight from the airport. Straight from the airport to the ER. So I got x-rays. It was not broken, thank God, but I had severe whiplash. So basically, like, if you were in a car crash, that's what, because I was running and fucking stopped.
I think can we contact this organization to get the footage?
There is no footage, but Alex, my friend Alex was there. She could tell you all about it. I was just running and bam. And like, luckily, this hand went out a little bit. If not, I would have like knocked my teeth out.
So, Holly, if you're wondering why Kelly doesn't run, it's because it's traumatic to her.
Right.
Because she has PTSD.
Right.
So don't come for her condition.
Because
okay?
I'm disabled.
Okay?
From my severe whiplash.
Okay? Thank you, Holly. And all of you people that wanted to come after us for going after Jenny. Kelly also has a problem. Okay?
Exactly. So anyways, I basically almost broke my neck in adult kickball, and I can relate to the summer house folks. And so I wanted to know, I'm sorry that we didn't really talk about the episode, but I wanted to know, and I will tell mine as well, but Kyra, who do you think on the summer house cast would be the most likely to trip you or trip someone in the kickball game?
I mean, if Danielle was still on the cast, it would be Danielle.
Not that you would trip.
Right.
Oh,
but
okay.
They would trip me. I think she would do that to someone.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Kyle.
Okay. I was going to say West, but not because I think he's mean, because obviously I love him, and in my head he loves me back. But like, it wouldn't be like a targeted situation where he would be like, I want this bitch to break her neck.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so much nicer than me, this person. But he was just very into, he was one of the ones diving and very competitive. So I think maybe in the moment he might do it, but then feel bad.
See, I think he appreciates sports so much that he wouldn't dare like damage it and not win correctly. Because I think he respects sports.
That's true. Because that is loser behavior.
I have a question about the episode that I would love for everyone else to weigh in on as well.
Is Carl gay?
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
But I don't think so. I think he just lacks confidence in most areas. Do we think Jesse just got his toe sucked?
Oh.
First of all, why are you going in to watch a threesome? Let alone sitting down to partake. And then you just got your toe sucked? After saying you were hard?
Yeah, well, he said he got hard after his toe got sucked.
No, he walks in. Well, we don't know, but.
Well, it said they sucked his toe, and then he said, and now I'm hard. And then it like cut off. So I feel like I don't know.
So yeah, if you guys watch Summer House, I want to know, do you guys think, was it just a toe sucking or
no?
Was there more in the foursome?
Yeah.
And we'll get into that because we'll see the fallout, I think, again this coming week. So we can get into more of that next week.
Okay, so that's all for the shows for this week. But as always, we will be ending with our goals for the week because we always want to be learning and growing. So make sure you answer these questions with us on our Instagram. And here we go. What is one thing you're working on?
One thing that I am working on this week is staying focused on my workouts. I've been doing so well with them. So it's just like, I just keep telling myself like, okay, one more week down. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Mine is not future tripping. Just trying to take it day by day. Stay in the present. What is one thing? And now the next question, something we're looking forward to, looking into the future.
Finishing my bar in like my living room.
Okay. Mine is Scout's birthday, which is on Wednesday. What is something that made you feel like an adult?
The DMV kiosk.
Yeah, that's so cool. Mine is tough combos that I had this week. And what is one thing you did this week to contribute to your mental health?
Journaled.
Nice. Mine is cried when I needed to, which was a lot. But that's okay. Yeah, so that is all for this week. We hope you laughed and learned something with us. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and YouTube or wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple. Rate, review, leave a comment, share with a friend, all the fun things. And we are going to be answering some listener questions on an upcoming episode. So send us those.
Yes.
And
Anything, like literally any type of question.
topic about us, about
our opinions on something, like anything, any and everything is welcome.
If you want advice on something, like what would Kelly and Kyra do in this situation? If you want to give us a scenario, anything, we're open. So let us know, and we will see you next week. Bye. Bye.